All 9 Supreme Court justices saying President Obama overstepped his constitutional boundaries when making 3 appointments without the consent of Congress. In fact, Speaker John Boehner says this isn't the first time and is considering suing the president. We wanted to get reaction from Congressman Brad Wenstrup, who is in district. Your reaction to the justice's decision, and also to John Boehner, who wants to sue President Obama?
Well, on both fronts. I think that the Supreme Court upheld what they should be upholding, and that this is not supposed to be how business is run in D.C. The president did this, and it was unconstitutional, and they declared that. As far as the lawsuit, you know, there's a lot of frustration that amongst those in Congress, and I can tell you it's both sides of the aisle a lot of times, too, where they're acting without the permission of the law. And so we see things taking place. For example, we just had this exchange
with Bo Bergdahl.
Yeah, there was supposed to be an obligation there to contact Congress. And they told us, well, we were afraid of a leak, yet 90 people within the administration knew about this exchange, but none of us did, not even the highest-ranking members.
What about you, as an Iraq War veteran? We're learning that he could be a deserter. Of course, we want to wait to see what happens. What is your feelings on the president not consulting with Congress and then finding this out about Bo Bergdahl?
Well, there's several components to that. You know, we'll see where justice plays out on where he was. And the idea that we leave no soldier behind is fine, but there's several ways of not leaving a soldier behind. And I had concerns that we didn't offer retaliation if any harm came to him. And let me give you another example. We have about 15 doctors in the House and Senate.
Right.
And they said he was terribly ill and we needed to act. Why not come to us?
Right.
You know, at least I felt trusted when I was in uniform in Iraq to have a secret clearance. I didn't get that respect this time.
Let's talk about being in uniform in Iraq. So many cities have fallen to ISIS militants, including the second largest city in Iraq, Mosul. Your reaction?
Well, it's terribly disappointing to me on so many fronts as someone who served and saw so many give their lives. A good friend of mine, a surgeon, was actually killed in Mosul. So when you see that fall, it becomes very personal. I talked to some of my friends. They're Iraqis that are now in the United States, and they have a great concern of what is taking place, and we all feel that it was avoidable.
Okay. How was it avoidable?
Well, I think we should have left troops on the ground. We should have pushed for a security of force agreement between us and the Iraqis. It would serve to benefit us and them. It seemed to be a political decision, not only on our president's part, but on Maliki's part as well. And so we really should have stuck to that and stressed the importance of it, and I think a lot of this was avoidable, and now we're in an emergent situation.
What about people who say we should have got involved in Syria? That the mess in Syria is adding to the mess that is happening now in Iraq?
Well, they're clearly interchangeable, right? Because ISIS is engaged both in Syria and in Iraq. And then you have a component of Iran and wanting to exert their influence in the area. It's a multifaceted chessboard. It's three-dimensional, if you will. You know, the Kurds don't really have a great love for the rest of Iraq, and they're defending themselves pretty well. ISIS has not gone into that area. We may see them try to seek some form of independence through all this process.
Brent Spence Bridge. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting for that thing to be replaced. The longer we wait, the more it's going to cost.
Exactly.
How can you help that along?
Well, there's a lot of things that we need to do, I think, in Washington to try and increase the amount of funding that we have for transportation and infrastructure. If you look at our funding, it's come from the gas tax. That hasn't gone up in years, and I'm not suggesting we raise it. But we have more and more people driving and not using gas, electric cars, et cetera, so people using the roads. We have to be more creative. One of the innovative ideas that I've seen is about repatriation. If we allow companies that have a lot of money overseas to bring it back at a lower rate, we can help to fund our transportation issues.
Let's talk about the approval rating of Congress, the lowest that's been seen in history. How are you going to change that in terms of your relationship with people in this district, and how is Congress as a whole going to change that?
Well, I think the big problem is trust, really, more than anything else. And also, you're not seeing business as usual. We have people that are in Congress for their 3rd term that are seeing business run as it should, not continuing resolutions. We didn't have the Senate pass a budget until we passed a law saying they wouldn't get paid until they passed the budget. These are the types of things that frustrate the American people, and I think that when they respond to that, it's more than just Congress. It's frustration with their entire federal government.
Congressman Brad Wenstrup joining us this morning. You're always really good and accessible. We appreciate that, man.
Thank you very much. Good to be with you.
We have much more straight ahead.